Nostalgia has a funny way of making us believe that certain past experiences were great, whether it be watching certain shows or listening to certain kinds of music. But as we get older and go back to those experiences, we realize that not everything was as good as we thought. Case in point, Nicktoons Racing on the original PlayStation. I used to think this game was amazing as a kid, and I would play it any chance I had. After playing it recently and experiencing the game as an adult, I figured it would be nice to give this game a review from a different perspective.
Wow, check it out! Who can possibly beat this opponent?
The plot consists of the Nickelodeon characters each receiving an invitation to compete in a race in order to win a grand prize, being the Krusty Krab Big Bun Award. The plot does an okay job for giving the player a reason for the characters competing against one another, which is fine since we want to see the Nickelodeon characters competing against each other. There is no depth to the story, but it's to be expected being a kid's racing game, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm not expecting a lot of exposition with a Nickelodeon game. It's certainly not a Martin Scorsese style of writing or a Steven Spielberg. Just the basics there, guys. In terms of gameplay, there are a number of issues in this game. The controls feel very stiff when turning, and the vehicle speed seems to be lacking. When using a boost, the vehicle feels like it's going the same speed, and the other racers catch up even without using the boost. The weapons aren't very effective either. Pickups consist of gritty kitty litter, baby powder, trash cans, green slime, and a few others. Most of the time you are given trash cans, kitty litter, and green slime, which the other racers dodge with no problem, and they are mostly given the attacks that harm you most, such as the jellyfish or log. Getting hit by one of these projectiles really stops the game at a halt, and it takes forever to get back up to speed. When you are hit, you can expect to fall back at least 2 to 3 places, making the enemies feel really cheap at times. In terms of the projectiles, they are picked up by running into presents which are located around the track. Once you hit one of the presents, you are randomly given a weapon like in Mario Kart. However, you can only carry one weapon at a time, which can be really irritating when you use your weapon and have to wait for another present to show, which can feel like forever in a race trying to compete against the other racers. The hit detection feels off, in that you have to hit a present dead center in order to get an item from it. I've literally driven right through one and I didn't get jack from it, which was really frustrating in the race. In terms of audio, the game does have a nice soundtrack. Each track has its own theme and they all do a good job of representing the show each level is based on. However, the menu selection screen audio is downright terrible. Listening to this non-stop is absolute torture. I've made my point. Thankfully they added audio options in the game, but why they added those sounds I will never understand. I don't understand why the developers didn't lower the volume or eliminate the sound completely, considering how awful it is. In terms of the visuals, the game looks fine considering it was released on the original PlayStation. Each character has a well-designed 3D model, and the racetracks are faithful to each show aesthetically. Whether it be racing through the Angry Beaver's home or Cat Dog's neighborhood, the tracks are done very well. Aside from Race Madness, which is not structured well, the majority of the tracks are very well done. All in all, Nicktoons Racing is not a game I would recommend. The controls haven't aged well and the game doesn't have a lot to offer in terms of gameplay. You'll most likely get tired of the game after 5 minutes and want to play something else. The only reason to play Nicktoons Racing is if you are a hardcore fan of classic Nickelodeon and want to see all of these characters in the same game. Other than that, I would recommend playing Crash Team Racing or Mario Kart. Well guys, that is it for my review of Nicktoons Racing, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for tuning in to Video Game Culture, and you guys have a great day.